Okay, let's start this deep dive. Think back maybe to the 80s or 90s, before the internet really took over everything. Remember that, well, almost magical feeling?
Oh yeah, picking up a landline phone.
Exactly. And if you needed info, like a phone number or an address you didn't have, you'd often just press 0.
Uh-huh. The operator.
Yeah, a real live person. They were like this human gateway, finding numbers, connecting calls, even international ones. It felt like, I don't know, a direct line to the wider world back then.
It's fascinating, isn't it? Because that core need, connecting to information, connecting to services, it hasn't really gone away.
No, not at all.
The way we do it has just completely changed. We've gone from, actual people at switchboards to these incredibly complex digital systems.
Which is exactly what we're diving into today, that whole evolution of the operator role. The person might be gone, mostly, but the job itself, it's still here, just
Yeah.
different.
Right. It's embodied now in the AI assistants we talk to all the time.
Yeah, think about Apple's Siri or
Yeah.
Google's Gemini, Amazon's Alexa. You probably use one of them almost every day without even thinking much about it. They've become these, like, key middlemen for finding stuff out.
They really have. These platforms are now incredible, powerful ways to get access. Just a simple voice command opens up this huge world of data, right? And tons of services, too. It's a massive shift in how we, navigate the digital world.
And it just keeps changing, doesn't it? Feels like every few months there's a new AI model or an update, and they all have their own spin on being this operator.
Mm-hmm.
They feel like stepping stones, maybe, towards this future where everything is seamless, just voice-activated connection.
And when you look at where these operators are popping up, it's not just on our phones anymore, is it?
Not at all. That's a key point. They're everywhere.
Their presence is becoming, well, ambient, almost part of the background.
Totally. They're built into wearables now. Smart glasses, earbuds. And they're definitely central in smart homes. Things like the Apple HomePod, Amazon Echo, those Google speakers. It's getting harder to avoid them, really.
And that ubiquity that's spreading out, that's really critical to this whole transformation we're seeing.
How so?
Well, as these voice assistants get more embedded into just our daily routines, they're fundamentally changing how we get information, how we access services. It's more than just being convenient. It's actually changing our behavior.
Okay, so let's break that down a bit. The original human operator, their main job was to be that connection point, right? A gateway to info.
Yep, a human-powered gateway.
It really strikes me that these modern voice AIs like Siri and Alexa, they're basically doing the exact same core job, just, with silicon instead of a person.
That's a really good way to put it. The fundamental purpose, providing that connection, it's constant. Voice interfaces are just the modern way of doing it, using all this tech to achieve the same goal.
So if that's the case, what does this mean for businesses now? Why is it so important for them to pay attention to Siri, Alexa, Gemini, and whatever comes next?
Okay, this gets to a really crucial part of business strategy today. In this world of, voice-first access, having a voice presence is becoming, well, essential.
You mean businesses need to be findable by voice?
Pretty much. If you don't set things up so these assistants can find your information, you risk becoming invisible to a whole lot of people who are starting to just ask for things instead of typing or tapping.
Right, because if asking Alexa or Siri is becoming the main way people look for things or want to book something or buy something.
Exactly. Then businesses absolutely need to make sure they show up in those results, that their services can be triggered by a voice command.
Makes sense.
By, integrating properly with these voice platforms, businesses make sure that these modern operators can easily find and share key information hours, services, locations with customers just through natural conversation.
And it sounds like this might not mean building entirely new things from scratch. They can use what they already have online.
Yeah, that's one of the efficient parts. Voice interfaces can often tap into what a business already has digitally.
Like their website info or their app.
Exactly. Things like FAQs, booking systems, product details, information that's already on the website or in the app can usually be pulled and delivered through voice. It just needs to be structured correctly sometimes.
Okay, so it's more about optimizing what exists for voice rather than a total rebuild. That seems manageable. And are there other benefits besides just making transactions smoother?
Oh, definitely. If you think about accessibility and inclusion, voice interfaces are a really big deal.
How so?
They let people interact with businesses in the language they prefer, and in a format that works best for them. It really lowers the barriers.
That feels huge, especially for, say, older people who might struggle with small screens or people with visual impairments.
Precisely. Voice completely bypasses the need for visual navigation. Suddenly, getting information or using a service is just about having a conversation.
Yeah.
Plus, many of these systems can translate or adapt the content on the fly. That opens up a global reach, making it easier for anyone, anywhere, to connect with a business, no matter their language or ability.
The background materials we looked at had some great examples of this. Let's talk about Samantha in New York getting her coffee.
Right, that's a perfect illustration of this seamless integration. Samantha's busy walking around, maybe talking into her earbuds.
Uh-huh.
She talks to Siri first, and then Siri connects her almost instantly to the Starbucks voice assistant. Let's call her Jane.
And just like that, no phone fiddling, no app opening. She just asks for her usual medium latte, pick up at her usual spot, maybe tells it when she'll be there.
And the clever part is what happens in the background, right? Payment gets handled, loyalty points applied. It probably knows her usual order anyway. It's incredibly smooth. She just walks in, coffee's ready.
It really makes the technology almost disappear.
Oh.
Okay, and then there was the Domino's example, John, the dad driving his kids.
Yeah, that one really shows the convenience, especially when you're multitasking, like driving.
Right. Safety is key there.
So John uses Alexa, maybe through his car system or phone integration, connects to Domino's voice assistant, call him Steve.
And totally hands-free. He orders a large pepperoni from his usual Domino's.
Yeah.
Steve might even tell him about a deal, like, hey, add breadsticks for $2 extra.
Exactly. Offers can be integrated too, and again, payment's probably linked to his account. He swings by, pizza's ready, easy pickup. It turns a potential hassle into something super efficient.
These examples really drive home how powerful these voice interfaces are becoming. They're not just gimmicks. They seem to be genuinely making things more inclusive, more accessible, acting like that bridge, like you said, and making these new AI operators even more effective.
That's really the heart of it. Voice interfaces boost what Siri, Gemini, Alexa, and all the others can do. They provide this incredibly streamlined way to connect with information and, importantly, with businesses.
It feels like we're seeing a real shift from ordering coffee, sorting out dinner while driving, maybe booking travel soon. Voice seems poised to change how we do so many everyday things.
Absolutely. And the really exciting part is thinking about broader adoption. If we make it easier for all kinds of businesses, big and small, to integrate voice.
Then more products, more services become easier to access.
Exactly. Easier to understand, easier to use for way more people. It doesn't matter what language they speak or if they have a disability that makes visual interfaces tricky.
It really does feel like a leap towards a more inclusive future, doesn't it? Where getting what you need is just a conversation.
That's the promise. The tech's getting better, the interfaces are getting smoother. It's all there for us, just a simple conversation away.